All right, all right. Hitting the streets live. Feel like we're about to bust open a flow or something. I'm gonna go
I
ahead and
know. I was
pause
kind of waiting for you to
that.
freestyle on top of that.
I was kind of feeling it. I was about to get into it, but we don't want to scare off our whole one viewer just yet.
Yeah, keep it
Uh,
professional, please.
for sure. So yeah, exciting lunch and learn today. We're going to be covering a topic that is probably one of our most requested. It is top marketing or lead strategies using instant quotes, using RoofQuote Pro. So excited to bring you guys an abundance of ideas and actually demonstrate how to implement some of our top strategies. We have heard from a lot of our contractors that because of the stormy season, that they've done a phenomenal job this year, and getting in leads has not been their number one problem, believe it or not. Um, but even if that is the case, in my opinion, there's never going to be like, oh, this is enough leads. As a marketer, someone with a background in marketing, I always feel like if you reach that point to where your sales team's crying uncle or your production team's crying uncle, that means you just need to get uh, better processes. You need to add employees, and you need to grow your business because you're leaving some growth off the table. If you're able to generate the leads, if you're able to generate the sales, why not support the back end and be able to actually build those jobs and just increase your business, increase your revenue. And it's not for everyone. Some companies want to remain, you know, a $700,000, $1 million, $2 million company. They're very comfortable in that size, and they just want a nice, predictable, steady flow of revenue, and that's fine. But if you're ultimately trying to continue to grow, you're going to always want to refine your lead and marketing strategies and get to that point where you have to focus on hiring more sales or you have to focus on hiring more production. Until you get to that point, you're not doing enough in your marketing because there's so much opportunity out there. There's so much business you can grab, and we're going to give you guys some tools on how to grab that business and how to have that edge against your competitors. So I will be sharing my screen. Joining us today, and I'll just introduce myself again. Matthew McDaniel, the Chief Marketing Officer, Product Owner at Roofle. I have a pretty extensive background in marketing, specifically in the contractor space. I think over my tenure, when I was just running for a private company, well over 10,000 appointments. We hit over 100 million in revenue over my time. So I definitely have learned a few things along my path. Uh, Definitely learned things not to do. I was blessed to have colleagues and work with a company owner that was very experimental, very willing to put in money to try different things in marketing. And not everything worked, but we were able to really find some smashing success over the years. And then we've taken all that knowledge, and ultimately that was one of the driving factors in creating RoofQuote Pro and this instant quote experience is to create this ultimate lead magnet that marketers for roofing contractors could use. So I've really taken a lot of my knowledge of lead generation and pour that into this tool to make it as effective as possible in generating leads. Also, go ahead, Courtney or Justice. I don't know who wants to start. Introduce yourself again. Familiar faces probably by now.
I'm Courtney. I'm part of the customer success team here at Roofle. Very excited to be here. I absolutely love being able to help contractors get our widget to work and strategize on different ideas. I do have some marketing background with T-Mobile, but again, it's a different beast when it comes to contractors. So very excited to be here and help anybody out with any questions that they have.
And hey, guys, I am Justice. I'm also on the success team, specifically oriented mostly towards financing and helping contractors kind of harness the power of financing. Don't necessarily have a direct marketing background, but talk to contractors all day long and hear about how people are using this tool, how people would like to be using this tool, and things that work for everybody. So happy to bring that to the table here today.
Fantastic. Yeah, this is always an exciting topic. I'm surprised well, not surprised, but actually pleased to find so many business owners in the space getting so involved in their marketing program because they know how important it is to their business. And just it's fun. It's fun to be in that part of the business. It's creative. You're all the branding that surrounds it. You're really telling your story, and you're really creating that path towards engagement with customers. And you can, there's really no limits to what you can do or dream up or try. Again, not everything's always going to work, but it's all about testing and trying out different things. So without further ado, let's jump into some meat, some of the meat of the content here. Present my screen. Whoa. All right. Can you guys tell me, are you able to see my screen and also still see us on the screen?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So I do have a list of our top 15 marketing strategies. We're going to hit on each one of these. I'm going to go into some depth on some of these, on how you can actually implement and some of the best practices. This Lunch and Learn is going to be a little bit more general, a little bit more broad, hopefully get the wheels turning. And future Lunch and Learns, or as we continue this series, we will have dedicated sessions specifically for each of these type of strategies. So we might go specifically into social media, how you set up paid social media campaigns, how you can actually, how you should structure your campaigns. Here are different ad examples. Here's how you target certain audiences, really get into the nitty gritty of each of these. But for the sake of time, we're really going to kind of hit the high level, still give you enough to really connect some dots on how you can actually make this work. But before I go into these strategies, I want to do a little exercise that has to do with marketing metrics. So we put together this marketing metrics calculator, and for most roofing companies, they usually track some of the same metrics. Usually once they hit a certain maturity and they're actually really tracking their numbers, generally they kind of track everything that comes in after the lead comes in. So what I'm talking about is what is their appointment set rate? How many appointments did they actually set versus how many leads came in? What is their appointment run rate? How many times are we actually able to go forward with that appointment, or did the person cancel before we could even meet with them? And also demo. For everyone kind of defines demo a little differently, but essentially you're able to present your product and your company and provide a price to the homeowner. Usually that's considered a demo. And then of course, how many of those demos were sold? So there's a lot of focus on sort of this post-lead funnel. It's a sales funnel. Of course, you have your average ticket. How much does a job on average, how much is your contract? So by taking all these metrics, you're able to really make it more scientific and how you can predict both your marketing investment, how you can predict your revenue targets versus how much you're investing in your marketing or other operational expenses. So I'm such a numbers guy, and I feel like it's the, with marketing, there's a lot of like feelers and, but honestly today marketing has really moved towards a data backed and statistical lens. And I think that really makes it a lot more predictable, so you can have more confidence in how you're investing your marketing spend and what you're going to get out of it and where you need to optimize and put your focus. So take a breath there. You guys have anything to piggyback on there about marketing metrics?
I don't, but your spreadsheet looks great.
It's a little intense, I know.
It is very intense. But I
So
think it's a great plan to have. I know everybody, usually has some sort of plan, but having it in an Excel spreadsheet definitely helps.
yeah. And this is designed to kind of show a comparison of a company that is not using instant quotes versus a company that is using instant quotes, and how much more business using instant quotes can actually generate. And the way we do that, everything in these green buckets are adjustable numbers. So the very first metric, and this is probably the most important one, if you take nothing else away from this Lunch and Learn, is to understand your website conversion rate, to understand how many people are going to your website, how many viewers of your website versus how many actually submit their information and become an actual lead. So it might be filling out a form, it might be clicking to call your company and talk to someone. But essentially, how many people go into your website, they look around, and then they actually submit their information. That's called your website conversion rate. And the reason that that number is so important is because it is the very, very first metric in the chain that affects every other growth metric. So, and we can demonstrate that. So on average, and this is not just me making this up, you can even look average landing page conversion rate. And it varies by industry, but you can see here, based on Google, 2.35%. And this is off of, Campaign Monitor, which they have thousands and thousands and thousands of landing page hosts. They host landing pages, and they're able to collect all that data and really tell. So we're looking at 2.3. That means that for every 100 people come to your website, only 2.3 people, basically 3 people, are actually submitting their information and saying, I want to take the next step. I want to consider doing business with your company. Whatever that call to action is, whether that's signing up for a newsletter, booking an appointment for an on-site inspection, just requesting a quote, whatever that ask is, that call to action, typically about 3% of people are actually taking that step. So what we found is with instant quotes, since you're offering something that is of more value to that browser, the person on your website, to that potential customer, to that potential qualified lead, you're offering them an actual price right then and there if they give you their information. So by offering a stronger value prop with the instant quote, you're able to increase that conversion rate. That means more people are willing to submit their information because you're offering them something in return that they highly value. Versus, the traditional method and say, oh yeah, let's get a free quote, and then they go and it's a form that says, hey, we're going to get back to you. Versus get a quote in 27 seconds or, with a few clicks instantly online. There's a lot of different call to action language you can use, which is way more enticing for the user, for the person browsing on your website. So what we found with all of our contractors, on average, it's typically around 7% conversion rate is what we're seeing. We do have some that are just lower than that. So on a conservative note, I put 5 in. That is like kind of the bottom. We have contractors that are seeing 12 to 15% conversion rate. And we can get a little bit into this. I'm not going to detour this entire combo, but that has to do with landing page design and how people are actually navigating around your website. Your website design also depends on what kind of traffic you are bringing to your site. Not all traffic is created equal. Obviously, if you're bringing people to your website that have a higher intent, they're actually in your demographic, they're actually homeowners, they're actually interested in services. Uh, those are much more higher qualified traffic, website visitors. So depending on what type of traffic, your landing or your website design, this conversion rate can fluctuate. There it goes. There's that flow you guys are waiting for. Um, but again, just by adding the instant quote tool, you're seeing at least a 2% boost in conversion. That is like the very basic bottom. If you're not even doing a whole lot, just throwing it on the website, you're going to see a nice bump. So let's see what that does. So let's say everything else is equal. So we have the same exact appointment set rate. We have the same exact appointment run rate and demo rate and close rate. So let's say everything else is equal. The only thing that's different is this 2% conversion rate. All right. So that means if we get the same amount of website visitors, which I'm not going to go into all this depth, but basically I calculated how many website visitors based on an SEM campaign, a search engine campaign like Google Ads, essentially. So let's say we spend the same amount on Google Ads, and essentially it generates this many visitors to your website, almost 2,400, right? So this is annual and monthly we're looking at here. So let's say 197. So with a 3% conversion rate, 197 visitors only turns into 6 leads per month or 71 leads per year. With a 5%, you're seeing 10 per month, 118 per year. And then you can see the trickle effect, because the more you start with at this very bottom block, the more you're going to see it basically drip. So from 10 to 6 to 5 to 4 to 2. So basically, this is saying this is a very conservative outlook, that for each month at a 3% conversion rate, if you're getting 197 visitors, you should be able to sell 1 job off of that traffic, versus at a 5% conversion rate, you're able to sell on average 2 jobs, or 14 a year, 23 a year. So right away, you see a pretty drastic difference in your ability to sell jobs. Just again, off of this one little increase of 2%, you're nearly doubling your revenue. So that's why I'm so like screaming, sounding the alarms and like focus on website conversion rate, because everything else in your business can blow up in a good way. You can explode growth if you can dial in and optimize your website conversion rate. So we will share this at some point with our clients. They can kind of try this out for themselves. You could say, well, our website or our appointment set rates is actually really good. We almost set every appointment. So I'm going to put 80% right there. Or you could say, this is how much cost per click to get website visitors. I'm spending $8. So again, everything matches on both sides. The only difference is this website conversion rate, and you can see what an impact it makes. So it also brings your cost per lead down. So now, even though I'm spending the same amount on clicks, if I have a higher conversion rate, I'm spending less per lead. So this, in this case, $8 per click, and at a 3% conversion rate, I'm spending essentially $267 per lead, versus $160 if I have the instant quote tool and more people are converting. So kind of reiterating the same point, same idea, is this is why Roof Quote Pro is such a good way to increase the overall bottom line of your business, but and specifically the amount of lead opportunities. Is we're able to provide a better user experience that boosts your website conversion rate. All right, now let's dive into how can you get more of this? How can you get more website visitors? Because more website visitors will lead to more leads, and more leads leads to more appointments or more demos or more jobs. So today we're really going to focus on how to generate more visits to your site and ultimately how to get more leads. Before we go into that, you guys have any comments, any thoughts?
No, I think it's just eye-opening on how much just a 2% increase can change everything. So pretty cool I mean, you're not using big numbers here, you're using very realistic numbers.
Oh, for sure. Super conservative.
And we talk on that a lot with our, in onboardings as we talk to contractors about how to utilize this and stuff like that. But seeing it put in raw numbers and being able to manipulate it and see even if you got 1% increase, even if you got the 2% increase, it can make a drastic difference. And start building in that direction, because we talk about it a lot. We know what it can do, but seeing the numbers behind it also helps quite a lot.
Yeah. And over here, like, we talk about, you're investing, obviously you're paying for the subscription cost for the instant quotes. But if you're investing any amount of money in your marketing, even if you're just using this organically, as a word of mouth, if you're trying to get referrals to use this, or if your sales team is using this in the field, obviously there's a lot of value there. But just by this increase in conversion rate, you're actually saving quite a bit of money substantially on your marketing spend. So again, we kind of touched on this. It's a lower cost per lead. So you're in this case, all these metrics line up that they say you're saving $107 per lead for the same amount of money you would have spent without the instant quotes. You're just performing better. You're spending wiser, and you're actually saving money on every lead that's generated, on every appointment that's generated. You're saving, and ultimately you're gaining more revenue. So in this example, let's say the total marketing budget for the entire year for SEM is $18,000. So it's about $1,500 a month. And for those of you that thinks $1,500 a month is a lot to spend on search engine marketing, there are some companies out there I know personally that are spending the $80,000 to $100,000 a month range. So don't be intimidated by these type of numbers. It's essentially you're sending, these dollars out in the wild, and they're coming back with children. I think I botched that expression, but that's the whole. It's return on ad spend. So for every $1 you spend, you should be making 10 times that, or 8 times that, or whatever it is. So the more you spend, ideally, the more you bring in. Obviously, there's a threshold to where if you spend too much, there's not enough opportunity that it becomes inefficient, and you can overspend and not actually get the same return. So you kind of have to figure out where that threshold is, to where you're spending at an optimum level, and you're basically not going backwards in performance. So just on these metrics, $18,000 a year, $1,500 a month on SEM. Again, same cost per click, which I can actually prove that your cost per click would actually go down because you have more compelling ads. But for the sake of simplicity, same cost per click. And ultimately, you're getting roughly $270,000 more revenue, all things equal, just by having the instant quotes. So you can see how very, very easily the cost of investing in a Roof Quote Pro is justified very, very quickly. All right, so let's go into some strategies. So we'll shoot through these. I know we're kind of getting short on time here. Um, Number one, we've already talked about it. SEM. What is SEM? SEM is search engine marketing. So essentially, Google Ads is the biggest platform for search engine marketing. There is Yahoo, Bing, and other search engine advertising, but you're going to see the biggest return on your investment with search engine marketing. Now, I know it's stigmatized as being very complex, which it is. It is, it's not something that you just want to do as like kind of on the side. If you're a business owner, maybe you have time for it, but it's definitely something that requires a little bit of expertise and a little bit of investment of time to set up and to manage. So we'd highly recommend either an agency, an in-house marketing professional, or you can always hire someone freelance to kind of manage on the side. If you want to be ambitious and do it yourself, you're certainly capable. Just understand that it is worth the investment into having someone else manage this for you very easily, especially if you start getting into higher spend. Uh, it's definitely worth it. So search engine marketing, what you really can do to bring in more traffic. The first thing is to make sure that your ads actually stand out. So here's Google Ads. So when you go to create an ad, let's say a responsive search ad, which means people searching specific keywords. Let's say people are searching for roofing contractors near me. And then, so basically you're bidding on that spot to show up at the top. So you're bidding, if someone were to go on Google and search roofing contractors near me, you're trying to show up at the top. And so your ad basically has a headline. It has some call out text. Sorry, these are kind of call out text here, and then it has like a description text. And so essentially you can kind of change, you can use different headlines. And then what Google will do is it'll basically test out and show all these different headlines to different people searching and figure out what is the most effective, what are people clicking on the most, and then it's going to serve those the most. But for you, what you're really doing to stand out is you're able to say something like roofing quote in 27 seconds. Instant online roof quote. And then it's a limited amount of characters, so you have to kind of play with it. But essentially what you're doing is you're calling out that you offer instant online quote, that they're able to get an accurate quote in seconds, that essentially when they go to your website, they're getting exactly what they need. And so by calling this out, roofing quote, 27 seconds, blah, blah, blah. You also still want to put things about your company, not, best workmanship warranty in Charlotte, or, Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Contractor. So, the more you can kind of build out brand value and make yourself stand out. But you really want to talk to the consumer as much as you can. You want to, as if you're actually, when the person's searching, when they're reading, it's if like you're talking to them. So sometimes you can say a lot like about your own company and say we're number one, blah blah blah, which is good. It does work. But when you're actually like talking to the consumer and say, hey, get your quote in 27 seconds or in 3 clicks, then when people read that, it's like they feel like that connection. It's more personalized to them. It's more personalized ad. So of course you want to send them, your URL has to be a page dedicated for the instant quote experience. So I would really recommend sending them to a really nice landing page to where it's, centrally focused around roofing, and it's centrally focused around the instant quote tool. I would also highly suggest having a how it works section either before or just after, excuse me, just after your instant quote tool. So they can actually see, step one, enter your address. Step two, see your roof. Step three, you get quotes for multiple products. Or if you want to do like step one, enter your address to see your quote. Step two, we will do an on-site inspection. Step three, whatever it is, but basically give them a understanding of how this process works for your business. And we do. Yeah, go ahead.
We have an awesome like white label video that we have created for our contractors to use as well. So hit us up if that's something that you'd want to, if you guys want it. What's nice about it with the white label video is you can customize it and add your own logos on it, everything like that. So it's just pretty much the simple steps, because we know how great marketing with a video, it grabs a lot of traction and converts very well.
Yep, absolutely. We do have this awesome white labeled video. I don't know if I could find it, but we do have it. We'll link it for you guys again. It basically is a tutorial on how to go through the instant quote process. So when a homeowner goes to this page and then they see this little video and then they see exactly like, oh, okay, I enter my address. It's going to go do this, this, this. Then that way you get a higher conversion. More people are likely to actually to do the process. What's astounding, what we've seen, so we've seen, we talked about 7 to 10% conversion rate overall. But if they enter their address, we're seeing a 49 to 50% conversion after they enter their address. So if they enter their address, they're about 1 out of 2 people are actually going to go through the full process and submit all of their information, which is pretty outstanding. All right. So the key to this one is using language in your ads and your search ads that highlight the use of your instant quote tool, that basically separate from you from your competition, who also will likely be running ads, that has a stronger call to action, so that people are more likely to say, oh, okay, yeah, I want an online quote versus, whatever it is that they're pitching. All right. I know we have already not covered a ton of ground and we're already 37 minutes deep. Obviously, we'll keep going here. We'll kind of cut through some of these. Anything you guys want to hit on at this point?
No, I think you've done a great job on kind of explaining, especially with the SEM. I've had people say that they haven't had success with it. And then with investigation, they aren't using the keywords that you're explaining, instant quote, any of that kind of stuff to drive them to click on that. So very good points.
Yeah, we will do like an SEM boot camp session where we really dive deep. I'll go from end to end on setting up a full campaign. It's not just search ads. You can do email, graphic ads. You can do display ads. You can do YouTube ads. Google ads is freaking loaded. And there's so much potential, so many ways to get in front of prospective clients and just people searching in your area. I got a lot of really cool tricks for you guys, but we'll have to carve out a specific session just to go through Google Ads, because it's a beast and there's a lot of tricks to it. But it's also not overly complicated that you can't figure it out. I think with a little guidance, you guys will quickly be confident in managing Google Ads. All right, so number 2 strategies, product-specific landing pages. So this is more of a content strategy. What we mean by this is we have a normal generic landing page like this, which is like roofing in general. Get a new roof, a beautiful new roof, stress-free experience. Here's different options. Here's some product photos, FAQs, kind of process stuff, and of course, different ways to actually get them to convert. So this is very generic, but what you can do is build specific product pages, such as Owens Corning duration shingles, or just Owens Corning in general. You can build a landing page that's designed about why Owens Corning is the best roofing product, and then use local content to build that page out. So not just Owens Corning's the best roofing product to use, but Owens Corning is the most popular product in the Raleigh area or in the Minneapolis area, and really focus that page on kind of both local content and specific products that you sell. So, and you could do this for each of your products that you have displayed. You could display up to 8 different products in your Roof Quote Pro experience. If you do one page for each product, that way you can actually say, get a quote for Owens Corning duration singles. And what you're doing, it's a little bit of investment to build those pages, but you can obviously you could take one that you've designed and clone it and then just kind of modify it. But what that strategy is doing is it's building a lot of content out on your website that's unique, that's also more focused on long tail keywords. So people not just searching roofing contractors near me, but maybe they've heard about Owens Corning duration and they're starting to do some product research. And when they go to do some product research, because you're a local contractor and you're talking about this specific product, you're very much more likely to show up in the top search results. You can see here, Roofle is actually showing up here. This another one of our clients here is showing up on page 1. So this is actually a nearby contractor, and they actually offered a brochure on that page. So just having the brochure to download on that page has helped them get in the top search results. So just by having these landing pages, so not just one landing page, but you're building all these pages out, you're building more content on your website. Make sure it's good quality content. Make sure you're actually providing value to the people coming to the page. You're giving them information about the specs. You're giving them information about, you're giving them the brochures. You're showing them images of the product, the roofing system itself, maybe a video educating them, the warranty. You know, you're actually bundling up all the important information on that page. By doing that, you're going to get a lot more organic traffic. So big investment in the time to build these pages, but it's free once they're going, once they're generating traffic. You have all these seeds out there that are just going to spring up and start to bear fruit. And you're able to track. Let's talk about a little bit of tracking. I'm going to go into our analytics screen. So this is our Pro Portal. If you go to analytics, you can very easily see all the pages that have your instant quote tool and that are, how many page views, how many leads. And this percentage is your website conversion rate. To bring it full circle, the website conversion rate, the most important metric that you've never heard of, is basically shown for every single page. So you can have one page that's dedicated to Owens Corning duration, and then you can see how much traffic has actually been there and how many people converted. So again, organic traffic, it's going to lead to more free lead opportunities. You just have to invest in the time to build out really quality landing pages or product specific pages. So upfront lift, but long run, it's going to really pay off. Social media, you guys have all heard of it. We could skip that one, right? Just kidding. That's probably one that we get the most questions about. How do we, run effective social campaigns. We are building a creative library for our clients. So just like the white labeled video that we shared, we're actually going to have white labeled ads and social ads. We're going to have mailers. We're going to have door hangers. Pretty much nice, like creative. Obviously, our creative team does a phenomenal job with our brand and messaging and such. We want to kind of create that same experience, those same assets for our clients, so they can really just take those. And that's sometimes the hardest part in managing marketing is the creative part. The actually building the ads themselves can be a little intimidating. So we want to help with that. But this definitely worth its own session. There's kind of two different strategies for organic and social paid. And then, of course, you have different platforms. So it can really get not complex, but you can talk for days at nauseum about social and different strategies and things you could do. But ultimately, make sure you are engaging with people. Let's say on Facebook, you're part of local Facebook groups. You're not always, you don't want to be spammy, but you want to be helpful, provide good, helpful information. You also want to recommend some of your own trade partners. So let's say you have an HVAC company that you partner with. That way, you're not suggesting your own services, but you're saying, "Hey, this is a company that does a great job. We trust them. We use them." And they're going to scratch your back too. You're going to get that same kind of love back when you recommend people in your own little trade network as part of those Facebook groups. That's on the organic side. On the paid social side, different ad types. You can do like a us versus them. Has become a really popular ad type. So it's kind of like a split ad. On the left side is like us. We offer instant quotes. We have check marks for why we're better. And then side B is like, you don't have to name a specific competitor, but you can just be like, old school roofers, or I don't know, and basically show like, why specifically why your company outshines your competitor. It's like an us versus them. Yeah, we can go into a lot of different ad examples. There's the founder story, for instance, where your company founder is kind of telling a story. It's more of a storytelling video ad about what made your company unique and how you guys have grown, and how you can tell a story of specific customer experience. You can also get your customers to produce content. That is really powerful. You can have a customer actually talk about the online quote experience and how easy you've made it, and how they couldn't believe how, they thought it was going to take days, or maybe they were waiting on other companies for days. They found you, they got the quote in seconds, and you made every other part of the process just as easy without sacrificing quality. Again, a million different ways you can. It's all about just creating really good, genuine content. We are going to put out some helpful assets to you guys to help get started. We'll fly through these other ones. Co-marketing with manufacturers. This kind of piggybacks on the product specific landing pages, but many of you may already be doing this. But if you don't already, if you haven't aligned yourself with a specific manufacturer, so whether you're GF, Master Elite, or your Owens Corning Platinum Preferred, essentially you are aligning yourself with a manufacturer. You're selling their products. Your sales team is very comfortable selling their products. You have this outstanding warranty program with them. You can actually work with your reps, with your manufacturer reps, to kind of do some co-branding. They are more than likely willing, depending on how much your purchases are, but they're more than likely willing to support you and in your marketing initiatives, whether that's through rebates or through a direct marketing spend. They'll actually provide some type of funding where you can actually dedicate that money towards marketing. Of course, you want to do some marketing that is co-branded. You want to make sure that you're highlighting their specific products, which the instant quote tool does. So you're already doing that. So talk to your local reps, show them that, hey, you're offering this experience. You want to run, let's say, a mailer campaign that really focuses on their specific product. See if they're willing to sponsor that campaign through a rebate or through direct investment in your ads. Direct mailers. It's the best way to do direct mail campaign. You could do this either with your address only leads. So these are people that entered their address and basically did not go all the way through. They just put their address in, they backed out. You can create a list of those people. You can also work with a company like Dope Marketing to create kind of targeted areas. So whether that's after a storm or whether that's after you're building out a specific job and you want to hit the nearby neighbors, you're sending out mailers to very targeted homeowners. Just make sure on those mailers you are making it very clear that they can get their online quote and use a QR code. And if for those of you who don't know how to get a QR code, there's a great site called QR Code Monkey. It's free. It's 100% free. All you have to do is put in your website, and then you can even set your colors. It'll create the QR code, and you can download it. Very, very simple. And then SEO long tail keywords. Probably going to skip over that one. I don't think we have enough time to talk about it, but essentially when people go to search, sometimes people might search roofers near me, right? Or they might search roofing contractors who specialize in thatch roofs. I don't know, that's just a bad example, but that's called a long-tailed keyword. So it's basically someone searching for something much more specific. It's a longer search phrase. And basically you're building content, you're building website content that specifically addresses those long-tailed searches. And one way you could find out what people are actually searching is it's called Answer the Public. It's an awesome tool. It's also free, but you could search any topic. Let's say storm damage, repair, roofing. And you can even, I think, get more specific on location. But like what it's going to do, what's that?
It's kind of like it's like a chat GPT for finding out what would work.
Yeah, this is insane. So like, here's this one. So this is like my topic, storm damage repair for roofing. And now these are all actual trending questions related to that topic. So how to protect your roof from storm damage, what is considered storm damage? So basically what you're doing is you're taking this, how to protect the roof from storm damage. And see here's like 8 tips. So they did a really good job. See, this is a roofing company right here, Solve, Central Homes Roofing. Shout out to that company. They figured it out. Oh, what do you know? Instant roof quote. Whoa, look at that. See how smart some of our clients are. So they built a page that addresses that long tail keyword of how to protect your roof. And then they basically created a tips how to protect. So here's the long-tailed question that they're actually addressing. And now when somebody goes, they're doing some research and they're like, okay, this person's answering. And now they see this and like, oh yeah, I need a quote, because they're obviously interested in this kind of information. So boom, right there. It's exact case in point on this number 6. Educational webinars, video content. Yeah, that's just about really educating consumers. Obviously, just video content itself, the more, getting up on a roof, doing an inspection, showing exactly what's going on the roof, um, creating all that educational content, but then, at the very end or lacing it into the video, reminding the viewers, hey, you can go online right now, you can get your quote in 30 seconds, blah, blah, blah. Here's the link, do the whole like point to the link thing. Um, and just promoting that content. So getting it out on YouTube, getting it out on your social. Um, you got lead nurturing and text campaigns. This is really great for not. We'll about 5 minutes here. We'll do a full hour session on this one. Thanks, Cass, for bearing with me. But this is a great one for leads that come maybe outside of Roof Quote Pro. So let's say you're using Angie, or let's say you're using Modernize, or let's say you run some other campaigns and you're generating these leads. And let's say you're having a hard time getting in touch with some of these contacts, or they land in rehash, whatever it is. You could rehash these contacts with emails saying like, okay, if you don't want to meet, you could still get your quote really fast online. Like if you're looking for additional quotes, maybe they've already gotten a couple quotes. Like here, you got nothing to lose. So being able to target other leads that didn't come from Roof Quote Pro and try to rehash those leads using the Instant Quote tool, you're going to see a nice increase in your rehash opportunities. This one I actually really love. I want to try this ourselves. I want to try an example from one of our clients, but every community, every market square area, like every big city, you guys are going to have some type of local influencer, meaning someone that actually lives in the area, that has a big following on TikTok or Instagram, and their following is going to be actually people that are local to your community. So reaching out to them and saying, hey, I love your content. Would you be open to doing a sponsored thing with our company? We're a local roofing contracting business, blah, blah, blah. Form that relationship and get them to actually produce content on your behalf, showing how easy it was to get their roof replaced, starting with the online quote. So if you can get a local influencer to create that kind of content, push it on their own page, but you could also use that as advertising content. And I'm telling you right now, if you have the right person pitching your company in that experience, that is pure gold. Like you will just dominate in your local area. Next door, I had a lot of contractors in our network, a lot of our clients are saying that this has been one of their best lead sources, is just going on their Nextdoor profile, answering neighbors' questions. Again, sort of like Facebook groups, being very helpful, be very educational. And then when it's appropriate, you can plug get your instant quote right into those networks. You can post like your story, post after a storm might happen, maybe after a storm incident, you could post, what homeowners should do, what actions they need to take, things that need to be thoughtful about, and then just sprinkle it in there, and if you're wondering what your roof's going to cost, blah, 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 it'll take 20 seconds. Trade shows and events, which I think are on the comeback. Obviously, these were down in the past few years, but a lot of homeowners are starting to get back out there and going to these home show events. But basically, being able to be at the show, being able to give people quotes live at the show, something that we never used to be able to do. You would always have to try to book that appointment and meet with them later. But you're going to get substantially more activity and more people willing to talk to you if you can actually give them the quote right there on the spot. They're going to love that. This sort of like this rehash, lead nurturing. So again, for people that you weren't able to actually demo or give a price to, you can retarget those audiences, those segments of people, with ads, basically trying to get them to do the estimation process. A couple more, we'll finish off. Real estate. If you can even form one really strong real estate partnership, you can give that real estate partner a link to your instant quote tool. And by the way, you can use a custom link, such as this. So a custom link will actually track back to a specific sales rep. So let's say this is the website URL, and then I'm going to add this little and rep equals my email. That means that every lead that comes in will be tracked back to this specific rep. So really cool trick. So let's say you have a real estate partner, you give them a URL that goes, I didn't put in the full enchilada there. Sorry guys. So what happens, it doesn't change the page at all. It just adds a little bit of tracking to the page. And that way, any person that comes in and becomes a lead, it's going to get tracked back to this specific rep, whatever rep email it is. So yeah, you can have a real estate partner. You can throw them this link, and now they're out there all day long with prospects of sellers and buyers who need to get their roof replaced, or at very most need to get an estimate. And it's not going to waste your time putting together all those bids for this real estate partner. But once in a while, when they actually need to do the work, now it's going straight to you. So if you do that, let's say you get 5 real estate partners, now you're essentially self-genning. And when a storm happens or something like that, woo, you will absolutely crush it. Affiliate referral program. Obviously, you want repeat customers, but you also want referral customers. It's probably the biggest part of your business can come from referrals. So we have a special program actually launching at RoofCon with Catchall. This is a great example of this, where you can actually brand your dumpsters to have a QR code for an instant quote. So that way all the neighbors in the area can see the job actually going on. They can see you're doing a great job. It's nice and branded, nice and clean job site. And then they can see that they can get a quote from you just from that Catchall co-branded. But taking it a step further, giving a flyer or a closeout packet to your customer with the opportunity to earn rewards or earn gift card or whatever it is for referring your business. And then of course allowing them to easily refer you with a QR code or with whatever it is, a link to your instant quote tool. That way they have a referral. They're just like, hey Debbie, just go to the site. It's super easy. I don't know why I chose Debbie, but and lastly, radio and TV spots. Again, just really everywhere that you can leverage the call to action to get an instant quote. You could really play with that. You could say, you can even show them on the TV slot like how easy it is. Obviously, this is big money to get on the radio and TV. So that's for more advanced, more mature marketing programs, but still super effective to lead with that call to action. All right, guys, I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a breath. Thank you for bearing with me. It was a lot. Hopefully some really good information, ideas, get the wheels turning. Again, we'll do a series where we get more in the nitty gritty for each of these kind of strategies and show you how to actually implement it and walk through step by step. But hopefully we covered some really good top strategies.
Yeah, really, really solid information. Thank you for that, Matthew. Lots of room for us to take deeper dives into individual aspects of this. Lots of room to do some one-on-one guides with anyone who wants to reach out and want some help with anything specific. We're more than happy to jump in with you and set up meetings and go through that sort of stuff and kind of coach through these and follow up and kind of make sure that these strategies are working for you. And then otherwise, of course, we're going to continue to post these webinars and take deeper dives into each of these individual aspects as time goes on. So keep watching for that as it comes down.
You want to close this out, Courtney?
I just wanted to say, hopefully, like that page that you kind of shared, we'll be able to share this with more information. And then if anyone wants more one-on-one time to go through this, they can absolutely reach out to either Justice or I. It's help@rufl.com. So we're excited to help you guys succeed.
Yeah. I thought I'd throw some exit music in.
Perfect.
Yeah, there we go. Play us out.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure, guys. I'll drop some links in the comments. Thank you for joining us, and of course, let us know if there's anything we do to help you grow. Any specific questions about marketing, we're happy to help. Thanks,
Very
everyone.
cool.
Thank you
Have a
so
blessed
much.
week.
Thanks, guys.